So tonight was interesting. I literally went to the gym, opened the car door, went straight through the front doors of the gym and straight into that machine, the abductor machine. I did something like 7 or 8 sets. I really completely smashed my abductors, and then I went to the squatting. And my anticipation was that my glutes were going to be all warmed up and I was going to be sitting in the hole really good. Everything is going to be feeling fantastic, but in fact it wasn't. The pre-fatigue that I did with these sets really made squatting more difficult. I was surprised by that. I was really hoping that this exercise would be like the ultimate warm-up because it just feels fantastic. I guess in one way, when I think about this, if you want to test out an exercise to see whether it's actually worth doing, or whether there's going to be a carryover to whatever goal you have, squat, deadlift, bench, whatever the hell you're talking about, just do that exercise before the main movement and see what the effects are. So this thing made me weaker, made me stiffer, and made me just more kind of difficult to do what I wanted to do. So you can conclude from that experience that pre-exercise or that abductor machine is hitting the muscles which really matter for the squat, because pre-exhausting them, really smashing them, makes the squat more difficult. But say, in a crazy other comparison, another experiment, if you went in and you went, okay, I reckon bicep curls are going to benefit my squat, and so you go bonkers on your biceps, and then you go over to the squat and your squat is unchanged, it hasn't completely altered anything, you're just squatting like normal, then you can say that the bicep curls are not doing anything for the squat. So it's kind of like a way of testing exercises. If you're thinking, is this going to carry over? See if this exercise actually fatigues the muscles which are actually involved in the squat. In this instance, what are the abductors of the hip? TFL, glute medius, and minimus. Both or all three are involved in abduction. And so you can argue that these muscles are very much involved in stabilizing your pelvis, your legs, when you're squatting. And so that's what I was feeling. I was actually hoping that I would kind of feel unbelievable straight in, just bang, 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 but I wasn't feeling that. I worked up to 180 kilos, hit that for one, and it didn't feel good. Like on the camera, it probably looks all right, but I sort of felt unstable in a way. I felt I didn't have a pop in me. I just felt weird. I don't know. I can't really explain it other than I wasn't feeling great. So after that, I decided to do some back off sets with the front squat. So I worked up with the front squats to 140 once again, feeling crappy. Just no pop, no fire in me. So then I did that, hit 140. It was kind of a struggle, whatever. Then I did 5 sets of 5 at 100 kilos. And then I moved away. I just had enough. I'm like, okay, these abductor machines, I think, should be done kind of tucked at the end of the workout, because doing them at the front just completely destroys your workout. It's just, everything was feeling crappy. I wasn't feeling the bar speed. It was just not good. So then I, left the platform, left the squat rack, and then I went over to do some abs. And I did some hanging leg raises again. So right now I'm doing those every other day. And that exercise is really interesting, because that exercise is also doing muscles which are involved in a squat, right? You can't tell me that your core is not involved in squatting. It definitely is. But when I do that exercise before squatting, I don't feel as bad. In fact, I feel better compared to just doing the abductor machine. So we can say that both the abductors of the hip and the core are involved in squatting. But when I do core before squatting, I feel much better than when I do, the abductors before squatting. So it's interesting. So what I did there was I did my 5 sets of 10 hanging leg raises with the bar on my back so I don't swing. I did that, really got a good kind of workout through the front. I'm still kind of recovering from the other day, really, where I did, I think, 10 sets all up. I think I did. So that I'm still feeling that. I'm still kind of sore from that. But anyway, so today I did another 5. And then I thought to myself, I wonder how squatting is going to feel now. So then I loaded the bar up again and did another run to 180, and still felt crappy, still felt kind of weak, but it felt better. It felt better than my core was kind of engaged. I felt more kind of stable than before. So ideally, these exercises should be plucked kind of at the end of a workout. You tuck them in there. I just thought to myself, the way this damn exercise feels, the abductor machine, why don't I do that before squatting, warm my hips up, warm the abductors up, and so I can really kind of like prevent knee caving in. But what I felt was maybe I pushed even too hard. I'm just thinking now, like maybe I just did too many sets. Maybe if I just came in and did like 1 or 2 sets, lightweight, high reps, and then did the squats, maybe that would work. So maybe there's a degree of playing around with all of this to kind of work out exactly the best way to go about it. But I still stand by what I said yesterday. I think these damn abductor machines, they have a place, man. They really feel good. It just kind of makes my whole leg just feel good. I don't know what else kind of to say about it. It's just I'm surprised that the carryover wasn't a good squatting session. So what I'll do from now on, maybe I can do it every day, like, cause you know, maybe not every day. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about it. Like one side, I'm feeling fantastic when I do it, but maybe doing it every day is too much. So yesterday, the last exercise that I did in the gym was the abductor machine. I did 5 sets of 10, I think, as well, of 100 kilos. And then today, as soon as I walked to the gym, I did another 5 sets of 10. So that's a lot of sets. And maybe it just kind of caught up with me. But, you know, I can max out, I can do the full stack with the abductors, AB abductors, and I can do also AD adduction machine full stack as well. So in a way, I'm happy that I'm kind of balanced out. I can spread and kind of pinch to the same kind of intensity, if you will, which is surprising to me because I always thought my adductors were really strong on me from squatting. But I guess my abductors also squat because I never get any major knee valgus when I squat. So anyway, something to think about, something to kind of plan ahead. I found this exercise by accident yesterday and I've kind of fallen in love with it. I'm kind of like taken back by it because it's not an activation exercise. So it's kind of, I need to treat it kind of like a working exercise after squatting where you kind of just go bonkers on it and you build tissue that way. I don't know. Something to think about. But definitely core has a really good place. You know, I spoke about the other day about hitting that 250 kilo deadlift. And you know what's actually responsible for that. And you know, one of you fellas said, well, you did a whole bunch of things. You did pin squats, you did rack pulls, you did core, you know, hanging leg raises. You've been doing direct psoas work. So I've been doing a lot of these different exercises, kind of all hitting the core, and I've definitely gotten stronger in the core. But my scientific brain is always kind of thinking, okay, I want to precipitate an exercise. I want to work out exactly what's causing this adaptation. But maybe sometimes it's not that clear. You're never going to get one particular kind of cause and effect. Maybe there's a few things happening. So this is kind of one of the things I don't like doing, where I just freaking add 50 different recipes or 50 different ingredients into a recipe and I don't really know what's doing what. But anyway, I think I've kind of worked out that I need some sort of anterior core work. Leg raises is best. I can't do leg raises every day because it's just too damn taxing. So on the off days of leg raises, I can do direct psoas work, unilateral work. I actually had a chat to one of you guys and we were talking about how when you're doing kind of bilateral leg movements for the core, whether you're doing sit-ups, whether you're doing hanging leg raises, it kind of hits your kind of six-pack muscle, hits your obliques, hits your rectus abdominis really well. But when you change that up and you start doing like a unilateral version of this, so you're doing maybe a hanging single leg raise or you're doing like a standing psoas curl, then it becomes a hip flexor kind of dominant exercise. So anytime you are lifting both legs or you're kind of sitting up kind of as a whole, it becomes like a core exercise or a rectus abdominis exercise, an obliques exercise. But when you're doing it unilaterally, all of a sudden it becomes a hip flexor thing. And this is where, you know, all this stuff comes in from like athleticism, you know, people from athletes on the fields. They always talk about unilateral leg work, how important it is to do lunges, to do Bulgarian split squats, to do running. This is where this thing comes in because you're training more, you're training different kind of muscles, even though it seems the same thing, but it's not. There's like a element of stability there involved right away and just hits kind of different parts. And that kind of makes me think again, you know, freaking going in circles, should I include some sort of unilateral leg work? This is the thing about training. It becomes so difficult to kind of work out the puzzle There's so many moving parts. There's so many different things happening. It's often kind of hard to work out what's what. But if you add enough time and enough patience, after a little while, you work out patterns, you can cancel some things out, you can kind of underline some things, and you can kind of take some things away. I know that doing direct hip flexor work has helped me. That's probably, my gut feeling is, it's probably helped me to get that 250 kilo PR of the deadlift. I feel much better under a bar when I squat, when my core is engaged, both hip flexors and rectus abdominis and obliques and all that. So a lot to think about. A failed experiment, if you will, today with these damn abductors. I really thought I was going to have a killer workout today, but my God, did that thing tax the shit out of me, and I had a pretty crappy, difficult, straining squatting session where I didn't feel poppy. I didn't feel like I've achieved anything. There you go. You learn something. You try something new every day. You learn something new every day, whether it's for better or for worse. In any case, I've kind of worked out what to do with this exercise, and definitely it's not a warm-up exercise. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.